What's going on, everyone? My name's Kai, aka Manga and Me, and today was supposed to be the Terra for Mars review. I've been a bit busy, so haven't been able to get around to rereading it yet, but that will be coming, I promise, so keep an eye out for that. But today I wanted to do something that, because I've only just started this channel, I haven't been able to get it out. I wasn't able to get it out at the start of the year, which would have been ideal. But we're going to go over the 10 top series that I want to have collected throughout this year. I'll also be throwing in 5 honourable mentions at the start of the video as well. So keep an eye out for these series that I mention in the coming hauls of the year. Let's get straight into the video. Okay, so before I get into the honourable mentions, I just want to make it clear there are other things I want to get done in my life this year, so in this list you're not going to be seeing series like Mushishi or GTO or anything like that. There are some series in here that are definitely on the harder to find side, and some that are going to cost me quite a bit of money, but just nothing on the scale of, you know, Gantz singles or anything like that. That being said, I'm also going to, for the honourable mention list, I'm having criteria of, like, it's only 2 things, but it's just series that is like I already have volumes in my collection for my honourable mentions, and it being realistic that I could complete the series this year. So starting off, we have Magi. Now, dummy alert, I had this series a couple of years ago and I sold it when I started to get out of manga a bit. Big mistake, because now some volumes are becoming hard to find. I don't know how long they're going to keep it in print, just because obviously the creator has moved on to Orient, which, shout out to Orient, by the way. I will definitely be picking that up. But yeah, Magi, I've only got volume 1 in my collection at the moment, so, you know, 36 more, yay. My honourable mention's not going to be in any particular order, by the way, it's just what I've piled it up at. The next series that I want to have complete by the end of the year is Shaman King. I've been saying to myself ever since the 3-in-1s got announced that if the 3-in-1s catch up to what I own of Shaman King singles, it's going to be really hard to justify getting singles if the 3-in-1s are good quality. So right now I've got 18 volumes, but 1 to 17 and obviously 31. So I have a few more expensive ones to get, but I think I will probably get it done this year. I would really like to as well. So yeah, moving on to the next one. This next series is either going to go really well or really bad, because Viz have had printing issues with it over the pandemic, but you know, if hype is built up enough for it, then it's just going to be just as hard to find volumes for it anyway. But we have Yuyu Hakusho. Now, I've got volume 1, 2, and 3, and volume 8, because as I mentioned in my collection video, I do a very strange thing where if I'm collecting a new series, I'll just buy whatever's on sale to start out with, and then I'll start hunting for the missing volumes. Yu Yu Hakusho, to me, is kind of a staple to a shonen fan's collection. I mean, I just, for one, I prefer this over Hunter x Hunter any day, but maybe that's a discussion for another time. But it's definitely one of my favourite Shonen Jump series, and I really hope that I can complete it this year, and hopefully Viz don't underestimate the want of this series, because I know a lot of people are looking into getting it now that Viz have announced that it will be getting its printing back in order. Moving on to the next one. This next one's going to be a bit interesting. So next we have Beastars. Now, I know the stigma to that's around collecting this series. I'm not going to say anything on it. I'm just really into my drama heavier series, and I've got volumes 1 and 2, and so far it definitely is meeting my, well, it's surpassing my expectations. I wasn't expecting to enjoy Beastars as much as I quite do. So yeah, that is honourable mention number 4. I think we're just about to get volume 11, if I'm not mistaken. I seen Viz release schedule. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to catch up to that this year. And final honourable mention before we get into the top 10 list. I don't know how well this is going to sit in frame. We have the Blam Master Editions. Blam. Nobody knows how to pronounce this except Ultimo. This series, I wanted to collect this ever since I got into collecting seriously back in July. All I ever really heard was that it's very more art driven, so it just interested me immediately. And yeah, I quite like these master editions. I think I might have preferred it being hardback, but it is what it is. And this is not the only time you'll hear Satomo Nihei's name in this video. So yeah, on to the top 10 list. Just so you know, I don't know how I'm going to do this, because these top 10s are series that I don't have in my collection. So I think what I might do is kind of pan around my collection whilst I go through the series that I'm hoping to collect, and just kind of throw up images onto the screen for you guys. But yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so I decided I'm going to try and stay here whilst going through my list, and as I do, I'll kind of show a graphic of the manga that I'm specifically talking about, as I would if I actually had the volumes. Just because I don't want to be showing too much on the screen from my collection whilst I'm trying to speak about another specific volume. So yeah, if I get round to post edit and I don't like it, you guys obviously will not be seeing this. So let's hope this works, yeah? Okay, so starting off the top 10 list of series that I would like to have collected over the next year, we have Knights of Sidonia by Ultimo. Now, when I hear about people's favourite Nihei works, Apossums is almost like never in contention. It's always Blam and Knights of Sidonia. Now, I'm really interested to see which one kind of grabs me more between the two, because I feel like they sound similar, but depending on delivery, they could go very separate ways, and I'm really interested. So yeah, that is my number 10 pick. I'm going to be trying to collect it in the Master Editions, if they're even called Master Editions for Knights of Sidonia. Yeah, I think there's 6 volumes, I believe, 5 or 6. So yeah, expect to see that in my hauls over the coming year. Okay, so my number 9 on the top 10 list is Banana Fish. Now, hopefully now that the anime hype has died down, they'll be able to catch up with stocking all the volumes again, and I'll hopefully be able to get it all by the end of the year. I mean, I literally don't hear many people speaking about the Banana Fish anime anymore, and I wasn't really hearing too much chat about the manga before anyway. The anime is great. I want to experience the manga It's a pretty great story. So yeah, hopefully see that in halls too. Next one on the list, number 8, is Raroni Kenshin. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the author. All I'm going to say is I will be supporting a seller on eBay. I will not be buying Raroni Kenshin new. The anime was a staple of my childhood. Really, I loved the series. Samurai stories are just my thing anyway. I never seem to go wrong with anime, with samurai stories, so I feel like I need it in my collection. But like I said, I will not be picking up new. I don't want to support Viz for that release or anything like that. You know, the good thing is though is Rurouni Kenshin has the benefit of having pretty good anime, except I hit the latest series. The latest season that came out wasn't great, but I only ever watched the first season anyway. And the live action movie was also good, so you can't really say that about a lot of live action anime adaptations. So yeah, if you haven't experienced Rurouni Kenshin, I do suggest checking it out. Just don't do it legally, I should say. Find a way to read the manga without supporting the author. On to number 7. So number 7 on the list, I feel like to anyone that's seen my collection video, again I will be leaving a link to that in the description, might surprise many of those people, but it's actually Sailor Moon. Now, when I was growing up, I used to watch it a bit, but I never watched like episodes in order or anything like that. It was just kind of on, and I feel like I owe it to myself to experience the manga. It's a very big staple in anime, and just growing up in early 2000s, I think I definitely owe the series a try at least. So yeah, I'll probably be looking into the Eternal editions, just because as far as oversized books go, I've seen a couple of those in my local bookstore and they seem alright and they look really nice too. So yeah, I'll be trying to pick that up this year. Moving on to number 6. Okay, so number 6 is kind of a cheat entry in that it's 2 sets of a series that completes the series. So before I confuse anyone anymore, I'm going to be looking to get the Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re box sets. I've seen the anime to the first season, seen the anime to Re. Not a huge fan of the anime, but everyone I've spoken to has said that the manga is so much better, and I want to see why it's so much better. And the box sets look awesome, to be fair, as do all the single covers. So that rules the Monster Edition out. So yeah, keep an eye out for those box sets, because I mean right now Amazon have the scary text that say we don't know when or if this will be back in stock. So, but I'm sure it will. So I'll be keeping a close eye on that. And yeah, hopefully be picking that up soon. On to number 5. Okay, so number 5 on the list, halfway through now, guys. I don't actually know anything about the series. It's Noragami. All I've seen of the manga is that the covers look awesome. I think it's about a god that gets his godhood revoked or loses his powers or something along those lines. I'm not too sure. but leave down in the comments below if it's worth picking up, because it's been on my radar for a bit, but I haven't bothered like checking out the anime or anything like that. So maybe I will do that. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix still. So maybe I'll give the anime a go first. But for now, it sits at the halfway point of this list. So you know, I will be looking into it, and if I can find, if somewhere like Book Depository or Amazon kind of has it on sale, then I probably will end up picking it up. Anyway, moving on to number 4, which might surprise quite a few people. Okay, so moving on to number 4 is, I'm going to try and cue it in. So it was done by Tokyo Pop, so it's severely out of print. I have not seen it in anyone's collection videos that I've ever watched, and I've watched quite a lot. Never hear anyone speaking about this series, even though it got a new anime last year, which I'm actually part of the way through watching, and I love it as a fan of the series, but I know it's not for everyone. And that is the Tokyo Pop release of Digimon. Now, I know people's gripes with this series. Everyone sees it as a Pokemon ripoff, and you know what? I'm sure the creator was just, you know, as aware of it being similar to Pokemon as everyone else is. But I love this series. I don't know what the manga is going to be like. It could be complete trash, and it's going to be expensive to pick up as well. So I very well might end up regretting this at the end of the year, but we'll just have to see. But I used to, you know, come home from school, and on Fox Kids, like, if anyone knows how old Fox Kids channel on Sky what is, then, you know, we're talking major nostalgia here. You know, Digimon would always be on whenever I got home from school, and I loved it. It was great. And the movie, like, for what it was at the time, I thought the movie was great, and also at the time, no movie soundtrack beats the first Digimon movie for me. I've now seen the band Less Than Jake 3 times live because of the Digimon movie, ultimately. So yeah, that's number 4, and that's probably the second most expensive one that's going to be on this list. So yeah, keep an eye out for that in hauls. Also, just leave in the comments down below if you're a fan of Digimon as well. You don't have to, it doesn't, I don't mean it to be like it's much better than that other series, or, you know, I'm not trying to start a war between those two franchises, but, you know, you can enjoy something, know that it's not the most original thing in the world. But anyway, moving on to number 3, we have Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt. Now, by the time that I potentially catch up to this, I think volume 15 is going to be out, so I'm going to need to hurry up with this, I think. And, you know, we're in the top 3 now, so these are the ones that I'm going to be putting a lot of, I'm going to be trying to collect these with a lot of ambition and urgency, I think. So these next 3 are going to be the ones that you see in most of my hauls, I think. But I'm becoming a massive fan of the Mobile Suit Gundam series, and in no small part that is thanks to Flip Otaku. You know, he kind of also revitalized my love for Ultraman and like old school Toho, Godzilla. So big shout out to Flip. But yeah, can't wait to get into Thunderbolt. The covers look insane, and yeah, from what I've heard, the manga for Thunderbolt is very good as well. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Okay, so if you had any issue with me picking Digimon for number 4, then hopefully this will kind of balance it out. Because my number 2 pick is Pokemon Adventures. Now, again, massive fan of the franchise. I'm hyped that they just announced, the remakes for Diamond and Pearl. I'll be collecting these in like is it collector's editions are they called? The ones that are similar to the Legend of Zelda Legendary editions. I'm probably only going to collect up to the end of Gen 2, but that's subject to change on how I find the series. Like if I really enjoy it, I will just keep collecting the the collector's editions. But at the very least, I want up until the end of Gen 2 in my collection by the end of the year. I'm really intrigued to see how the Pokemon manga plays out. I've heard people say that it follows the main story, but it also is a bit darker. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how that plays out. Moving on to the number 1, and it's a big one. So at the start of the video, I mentioned that I wasn't going to be collecting anything that will bankrupt me, essentially. Whilst that is still true, this will, I think, be the most expensive manga in my collection if I do manage to get it all. Anyone that has spoken to me knows how much of a fan I am of Hiroyuki Takai. So my number 1 pick for the series that I want to have in my collection by the end of the year is none other than Ultimo. Now, I've heard mixed things about Ultimo, and I think it's more of a legacy manga, and just the fact that Stan Lee had his hand in it, kind of crossing over the worlds of Western and Eastern comics. But the fact is that I'm a massive, Western comic book fan as well. So to have a name like Stan Lee on the same manga as Hiroyuki Takai, who I think without much thought, I would say is probably my favourite mangaka. I think I owe it to myself to have that series in my collection. I imagine it's going to be superpower involved, Stan Lee, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of inspirational things that he's brought to it. But from the 2 series by Hiroyuki Takai that I've read in Shaman King, involving all the spin-offs, so Superstar, Flowers, and Zero, and Nakagahara Stray Cat Samurai, his art and aesthetic really fits the kind of just kind of battle manga, really, especially with sword fights and sword play, because I don't know, there's just something about his art style, really. But yeah, I'm well aware of the state of the market there is for Ultimo. I know it's a pretty rare series, and it's never going to get a reprint or anything like that, so it is my number 1, and I'm going to be chasing it as hard as I can throughout more than anything on this list. But I think that's going to be the one that ultimately screws me over with this list. But I guess we shall see, won't we? Time for the outro bookcase. I just want to say thanks to anyone that stayed with the video this long. Hopefully I can get the editing done as well as I'd like to on this video. And yeah, link to my manga collection video will be in the description, along with my previous video, which was my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1 review. again, thank you for checking out the channel. If you like the video, please like and subscribe for more. If there's anything on this list that you have, let me know down below. And also, if there's nothing on this list that you have, what are your manga that you're hoping to collect by the end of 2021? I'm always interested to see what you guys are collecting, so yeah, leave it down below in the comments. Hopefully see you guys in the next video. Should be the Terraform Mars review if all goes according to plan. And yeah, peace.